So we were talking at 1965 is when you guys started seeing Uncle Danny.
Yeah,
First chiropractor.
yeah.
So you met, what, his wife, you said?
Yep, I was teaching with his wife, and she came to me with no reason. And she said to me, if you ever need a chiropractor, my husband's a chiropractor. This was on a Friday afternoon before we broke for the weekend. That next morning, Saturday morning, I woke up, and on my back was a spasm, I could barely move. And I was supposed to be doing a catering job that night with a neighbor. And I said, well, okay, Ann's husband is a chiropractor. I gave her a call. I said, is your husband home? She said, yes, he is. I said, well, can I come over? So I went there, not really knowing what to expect. And Dan adjusted me. My back instantly felt better. And I did the catering job that night. And that was the beginning of our chiropractic journey.
Right.
And how old were you?
Oh, what do you see? We like to be, we live about 25.
25, okay.
About 25 years old.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's awesome. And you started going shortly after that?
Shortly after, because I always had some back problems. I didn't realize that my spine was so twisted, but since he got relief, I said, well, might as well go.
Right. And the neat thing, I think it was neat, because even back then, because this is 1965, as we said, 1966 or whatever, he must have been educating you, which didn't happen a lot back then, because you said when you were pregnant with me, he had said something to you that in turn changed my life forever.
Right. He said, and they were gonna be 18 months apart, and he said to me, if you have a baby, and if he has colic, don't hesitate to bring him to me. I said, oh, 18 months apart is too close anyway. Don't even say colic.
Right, you gotta get something.
But as it turned out,
Colic?
he did have colic in a really bad case of that.
Yeah. And we did some medical things, you said, and that
Right.
didn't go too well.
Now,
No, that didn't go well at all because you had some medication prescribed for your colic, which I guess was supposed to calm your stomach down. And it calmed you down to such a degree that I honestly thought you died. I couldn't arouse you, I couldn't get too much of a breath reaction from you, so that really frightened us. And we finally, we woke you up, of course, and then we remembered, hey, remember what Uncle Danny said, and we brought you down to Dan, and he took care of you with the simplest, it seemed like the simplest adjustment, and all of a sudden, our little baby was calm, and no more fussing, and anytime you did have a flare-up, we would just go down, and Dan would take care of it.
Right.
So that was really a major step for us.
Right.
Major step.
And we meaning Richie as well, my older brother, we went as a family, you said, pretty much every week.
Every
Yeah.
week,
Just,
every week.
just to stay healthy.
And more often if they had an illness.
Yeah, if we had a cold.
Yeah. So we would go all the time. That's why instead of calling him doctor, we had the kids call him Uncle Dan.
Right.
Right, one of those uncles that's not related.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. And I remember growing up in his office, I remember wanting to take out his trash can and empty his trash can and do stuff like that in the office. And I remember him saying to me, you can be a chiropractor. And I was so little, I'm like, well, okay, I don't know. But you said something this morning, and both of you, that I don't even remember to this day. But I love this part of the story, so why don't you share that?
One day we had already been adjusted, and we were ready to leave, and with that, a patient came in, and she was hunched over, obviously really in a lot of pain. She was being helped in by one of her family members or a friend, and they went into the inner office, and then we were trying to hustle you guys out, because I don't know, we had to get someplace, and you said, no, wait. I said, wait for what? You said, well, I want to see how this lady comes out. And you were very curious to see, you kind of had the cause and effect thing in your head back then, as young as you were.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. And one thing that's neat when we talk today, when I talk to patients, I talk about lifestyle. whether it was on purpose or not, I don't know, but we had a healthy lifestyle because of how you guys raised us,
How you cooked
how you
and
cooked,
stuff,
how
yeah.
we ate at home 99% of the time,
That's
all
right.
of that kind of stuff. So I don't know if that was the way you were raised or the way you just wanted to raise a family, I'm not sure.
Well, I was raised like that, with all fresh vegetables and, you know, and 3 meals a day and going out to eat very, very little. I was raised like that. And also, my father went to a chiropractor.
You were saying that.
Oh.
So, it wasn't a strange, you know, place to do, to get your health, because my dad did go to a chiropractor. So, you know, I knew the word, and, you know, it wasn't frightening at all.
Right, you were familiar with it,
Yeah.
but again, we're talking even
Many
more,
years.
even
Well, yeah,
more years
than
before that,
So
which
it had
is
to be like in the 1950s,
In the
I guess.
50s.
Yeah.
50s, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That is really neat. What I love about all of this is not only were we raised that way, and we chose to raise our family that way, and I obviously became a chiropractor because of all of these connections, but you guys, who are right now 84 and 82, have kept not only the adjustments, but the lifestyle going all these years. So you still eat most of your meals at home, and you guys cook most of your meals, you buy organic vegetables, and you watch where your food is sourced from.
Oh, yes.
You're physically active, you're active in your church, you're active in groups, cards, and all kinds of stuff.
And physical with dancing and.
Right, and how many hours a week?
20, at least 20.
20 hours a week,
Yeah.
you do, is it all square dancing now, or? round
Square
dancing
dancing
still?
and round dancing. Round dancing is more or less like ballroom dancing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 20 hours or more every single week just doing that.
But no matter where we lived,
Right.
the first thing we would seek out would be a chiropractor.
Right.
Sure.
If one retired, we'd have to find somebody else. But
Right.
every place we moved, before retirement and after retirement, the first person we sought out was the chiropractor.
Right, I remember that, and I have tasked to find many of them for you.
Yes.
You moved to Pennsylvania and then to Florida and all of that, and different docs have retired and such over the years. Just because I'm a chiropractor, you guys don't live here in St. Louis, so unless we're visiting like this, I don't have the opportunity to adjust you guys regularly. So I love that that has always been, as long as I've been alive, this essential component to your health and your lifestyle is getting adjusted on a very regular basis and proactively. It's never been reactive,
No.
other than the very first time,
Right.
1965. Since then, it's been proactive.
That's right.
And we were raised that way, proactive, and same thing with our kids. You know, as soon
Right.
as, in our case with adopting the kids, as soon as we would travel to Guatemala and get them, they were a few months old, I would adjust them right away
Right.
in the hotel room. And of course, you know, lots of babies that we've seen born from pregnant moms in the office and visits to their homes and stuff, and getting their kids checked and adjusted right away. It's neat how started with your
Yeah.
understanding of just, this is a good idea for my family, has turned into my whole life's journey and our whole life's focus. And then, of course, our kids, now they're adults and then have kids of
And
their own,
babies, yeah.
and same thing. And of course, Richie, my older brother, his family,
There you go.
you know, their whole upbringing has been getting adjusted as well, because they don't live here either, so we're all in different areas, and we're all seeking chiropractic as a central component to knowing we'll be healthy, because again, 84 and 82, if you want to travel, you just came back from a riverboat cruise in Europe, you're not on prescription medicines. When we went to Italy, we did the Leaning Tower of Pisa, however many steps up and down.
252.
Okay, 252 steps, right,
And
up
then
and down.
we had to come down.
Right, so I mean, you know, and you're here visiting your great grandchildren, playing with them. You're not limited in any way by your health. Your body isn't limiting you in what you're doing, which to me, that's quality of life.
Absolutely.
That is quality of life, because there's a lot of people 20 years younger than you
Right.
that have a worse quality of life because they didn't take care of themselves. And you
Right,
have to be
choices.
proactive.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's exciting, it's exciting. So you guys have always been, even when I started 34 years ago, I referenced you guys and you were way younger than you are now.
Yeah.
You're kind of as old as we are now, but
Right.
we didn't realize how young that was. But I always reference you guys, not only because you had good health, and you always have, but your consistency in being proactive and embracing the entire wellness lifestyle perspective. You've done acupuncture, you've gotten the mercury out of your teeth, you take supplements. It's not only chiropractic, but that has been the central thing and the only main thing all of these decades now.
Yes.
Which is, six
And many
decades.
times, living this healthy lifestyle that you've chosen, you get the feeling that you're a salmon swimming upstream. Because when you look around at peer pressure, or even if it's not said, I'm sure a lot of people think we are totally crazy to go to the chiropractor every other week, or to think, oh wow, I have this problem, let me think about calling the acupuncturist,
Right.
something like that. It is not the usual. I mean, my first line of defense is chiropractic.
Right.
If I have an issue or a pain someplace, instead of going to say, hey doc, I need an x-ray of my wrist or whatever, my chiropractor is the person I go to, and I tell him, hey doc, I got a thing over here, and sometimes the simplest little move that he does, simplest little intervention, and now it's okay.
Right.
And then I think back, gee, I could have had pills for the pain, I could have had x-rays, or maybe a CAT scan, MRI, I don't know what, then maybe physical therapy, and even though I may not be paying for it, we're talking about thousands of dollars
Right.
worth of treatment.
Right.
When all the chiropractic did was, whoop, I took care of this.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
taking the interference away, sure.
Yeah, and I've always said that to patients as well, and again, you guys are my example of it, as well as our own family, but every dollar you spend in your chiropractic office or a holistic therapy is truly an investment, because again, now you're definitely reaping those benefits, because I remember over the years, you would ask me at times, I'm not seeing a difference between us and our peers.
Right.
Was all of these choices worth it or was it not? And I kept saying, just wait, just wait, just wait. And it seemed like in your 60s, things started to diverge and your lifestyle stayed strong and high, and the other people who just chose a different way tended to slip and slide. A lot of them aren't even here anymore because they've passed from a variety of different conditions. The ones that are here, a lot of them don't have a great lifestyle.
Right.
And that
Right.
reinforces in our mind why we buy the organic food, why we go to Fresh Pasture Farm every month and buy the pasture raised meat and eggs and all the things that we do. It's an investment in our health, our kids' health, our grandkids' health now.
Right.
Because we want to stay active, just like you guys are.
Mhm.
And so that's exciting.
And a couple of years ago, we were introduced to the energy room, and we thought that was a good idea, why not, add to your health? And then we just found one about 15 minutes from where we live.
Yep.
So we go on a regular basis.
Yeah, no,
to
that
our
was,
energy room.
that was
That's
very
another part
exciting.
too, right?
Yeah, I remember when I saw that first video a few years ago, and I showed it to you guys, and we were excited about it. We wanted to bring it to St. Louis, and you guys helped us with that financially as well. And then, yeah, it was a few months after that, but we found that there was one so close to your home, which was so great,
Right.
because you got the benefit from theirs, which you pay for as
Yeah.
well, but you also got to help start ours, which we're helping lots of people with that, another addition to holistic healing, which is very, very exciting. So,
And you bring up that we paid for, and that's another thing I notice with a lot of people. It's a whole different subject here right now, but it's that people will pay for what they want.
Right.
They don't have any problem spending thousands of dollars on cars and on trips and jewelry and who knows whatever else. But yet, if they have to choose a practitioner of some sort or another that's not in their plan,
sure.
No,
all of a
right.
sudden they close the door on that.
Right.
And they don't even see the possibility or the possible benefit of saying, you know what? This may not be covered, it might cost me $1,000, but I'm gonna try this.
Right.
If it makes sense to me. We'll see if it makes sense to me.
Right.
But yet, they would throw $1,000 at something else
Sure.
and not even think about it.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's just a mindset.
Right, we always say, well, do you wanna pay for the money now, do you wanna pay it out of your pocket now for good health? Or do you wanna pay for it later for
Oh.
unhealthy health? you know?
Absolutely. Either way you're
So
paying.
either way you're gonna pay,
Either way you're paying, and
So-
like they say, both ways are hard. It's not,
Right.
neither way is easy.
right,
It's hard to front the money now and say, am I, be proactive and do things and not sure, I think I'll reap the benefits, but there's no guarantee, and I'm not 100% sure, or for sure, pay later, whether it's financially, which it almost always is, and quality of life.
quality health.
Yeah, because
So-
we know people that, again, you guys, your peers that I was raised with as family friends that have the money, but don't even have the spouse anymore, and they would give every penny of it if they could have some more time with their spouse.
Right.
So
right.
it's this balance between investing in myself, our family, our lives, so we can continue to have a great quality of life.
Mhm.
And to me, it goes to what you said the other night at the marriage class that we did, is the longer we live with the better quality, the more service we can do for people.
Absolutely.
And to me, that's the most important thing as far as the better I am health-wise, the more I can serve our community as a chiropractor. We can have this business to impact the people who work here as well as their families and our community, and all of the things in our quality of life as well is, you can do more for more people when you're healthy.
Yes.
Um,
Right.
And that's what everybody gets to do. But that's one of my driving forces, is to still be able to enjoy life, have a great quality of life, but continue serving, because that's so important to us.
We always say we would rather be the ones visiting those in the hospital instead of being visited in the hospital.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
True.
So, and again,
That's
there's no easy route. You're choosing your heart.
Right.
And we just chose as a family, because of your example, to be proactive as our focus instead of reactive, and to invest in our health and our family versus being reactive or only doing what the insurance says we're supposed to do, so.
And then a self-full way, self-full is taking care of yourself. You feel good about yourself every day versus when you're not healthy, you kind of tend to beat yourself up even more to not be able to do things.
Absolutely.
So it's
And you-
just a spiral
Right.
the other direction versus a spiral up.
And you get to be a better fill in the blank, a better mom, a better spouse, a better employee, employer, grandma, great-grandma.
Great-grandma.
You get to be a better whatever that is,
Right.
Right.
if you're healthy.
Yes.
If you're not healthy, you're very limited in what you can do, so thank you for the example.
Yes, thank you very
We'd
much.
love to see the living example,
As do
and
we.
and to take, and to take part, yes, and to take part in your example. So thank you for that, our kids, our grandkids, your
Your
great-grandkids.
great-grandkids.
Very happy to be able to have lots and lots of memories and experiences with you guys, so
Yes.
Good.
So
thank you
thank
very
you.
much.
That's been great.
Absolutely.
Okay.